he bore a hole for us into his head. Like, here's some crazy fantasy that I want to do. So what are the specific things? Yeah.
He told her that he has like 180 or 150, I forgot like the exact number, but he has like that much money in the bank, and they should just take it out and go borrow his friend's car because he owes him $10. Then drive out to some cabin in the woods and just live there until the money runs out. Then when the money runs out, he's just going to get a job and everything will be fine. And be away from society.
Sure. When he gets his job, what's he going to do? Do you remember what the job was? Like, I kind of forget too. Was it like, I thought it was like chopping wood or like working at a gas station.
Yeah, I remember.
Working at a gas station.
Working at a gas station. And how is he going to interact with the rest of the customers?
He said he was going to pretend to be deaf.
Yes. So he's going to pretend to be deaf and mute, which is such a crazy fantasy to have. You know, like. So I think that's super telling. Why do you think he's imagining being? So not being able to hear and not being able to speak, like how much interaction do you have with the world if that's your situation?
Barely any.
No, you don't have to interact with the
Yeah.
world. So, a couple things to say about that. Unfortunately for Holden Caulfield, he doesn't realize that like 2 streets over in Manhattan is a dude named like Bob Dylan and Jack Kerouac. Like they're like hanging out. Do you guys know who they are?
Oh yeah.
Right. So these are like the beatnik poets and beatnik writers. The Magic Bus, like acid, LSD, like folk music and pot. Like they're literally 2 streets over, and poor Holden like just isn't rolling into them. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't take the subway. He's only taking cabs. He's only hanging around where rich people hang out at. He doesn't realize that like right over the street are these 4 people like dropping tabs with acid and like writing poetry and talking about their brother's gloves. You know what I mean? Like that's what these guys are doing, and he's just like so close to them, but he doesn't know. And if you met them one day walking down the street, and they were just like playing music, and Carl Sandburg is like reading poetry and stuff, like he would have been like, "What is this?" You know? But he, at that generation, he didn't even realize that you could not be normal. Like he didn't even realize that was like a thing, you know? Because growing up in that world, like you just had to be what you had to be. So that's like one interesting thought. It makes you so sad to think about him walking down the streets and have those guys.
Only he would have been on the beat.
Yeah, right. Like that would be crazy. Like Bob Dylan at this age is like 18. Instead, he has to hang out with Carl Luce. You know what I mean? Like that guy, the biggest jerks in like literature history. You know? Oh no, I had another thought, but I forgot now. Oh yeah, his fantasy about the working man. You know what I mean? Like with the briefcase and the suitcase and stuff going to work. Like that's like a reality. Like he sees people doing that all the time. His dad does that. What about this fantasy about the Vermont, like working at a gas station being a deaf and mute thing? Which one do you think is more adult, and which one do you think is more of a childhood fantasy?
I think the woods is more childhood.
Yeah, right. It's not really taking much into account reality in reality terms. Like, how likely is it that that's going to work out if they go do that? Like, not that well. Considering that who he's considering taking with him is somebody who just like loves looking cute in a skater dress. Like that's like her. That's where she's at. You know, like she likes that. She's not about to go like live in some remote cabin with a guy who pretends he can't talk and can't hear. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really where she's at. She's like, no, I want to date a corporate lawyer and marry him and have kids and be rich and like do rich things forever, like country clubs, vacations. That's what I want. He's like, yeah, but we could go out and do this other thing. So, I don't know if this like brings up this theme or it like solidifies this theme maybe in this chapter that this whole idea of like innocence. Not only is he like concerned about other people's innocence, but I think he's like concerned about his own innocence in a way. And when he looks around at all the things that adults do, they drive him crazy. He's like, they're so phony, like these adults, you know. And I really think he doesn't want to go there. Like, he doesn't want to be his dad. He doesn't want to go that way. He says in the museum, he's like, I just want to like, I wish everything would just stay like this. I wish I could just like stop time. And not only for like the museum and like the memories of the museum, but like I think for himself too. He's like, things are going a little bit too fast for me. And I wish I could just kind of slow down and like stop this train before I end up in the rat race, right? Or like, you know, with that briefcase or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, ages 1 to 10 takes like a millennium.
takes like 100 years.
Ages 10 to 20 takes a long time. 20 to 30 takes like 30 years. 30 to 40 takes like months. You know what I mean? And like he that's starting to speed up on him right now. And he's getting freaked out about that.
Were we supposed to read chapter 18?
I don't remember.
Because I did, and it's pretty epic at the very end.
I thought we were supposed to read chapters 17 to 21. Is that right?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
okay, good. I read like a lot of it.
All right, tell me about chapter 18 that you liked.
Okay, at the very end, I like how he's talking about after the war movement was over, I started walking to the Wicker Bar. Then he says this, I don't think I could stand it if I had to go to war. I really couldn't. It would be too hard if they just take you out and shoot you or something. It's like crazy that J.D. Salinger wrote that. And then on the other page, right after that, I remember Allie once asked him, wasn't it sort of good that he was in the war because he was a writer and it gave him a lot to write about and all? And like, that's just a crazy whole page.
Totally.
Because it's definitely on the wave of J.D. Salinger being in war and like reflecting his own psyche in this, but he's doing it like almost deliberately.
And another thing you can't stand about the war is all the people he has to be with. Like
Yeah.
in the war is Stradlater, Ackley, Maurice. You know what I mean? So now all of a sudden, all the characters from this